this is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Welcome back to the Dick Morris and Doug DePiro show, sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. When Trump took office for his second term, there was a huge focus on Elon Musk and DOJ, Department of Government Efficiency. And Musk said that he would cut federal employment dramatically. And at first it looked like he had done so, and was very positive. But then the publicity about it faded, and it's not been in the news lately. But the federal government data shows that the government's civilian workforce has shrunk by 12% between September 24 and January 26, going from a headcount of 2,313,000 to 2,035,000. Separate data shows that the majority of the employees who left during that time did so voluntarily, like the illegal immigrants, rather than being forced out. Reuters report, the outlet also noted that the administrative staff, customer service representatives, and IT managers were at the top of the list of positions that left once Trump returned to office. Reshaping the federal workforce is essential to building a government that works for the American people, not the bureaucracy. By realigning roles, streamlining operations, and modernizing how agencies manage talent, we're strengthening performance and accountability across the government. This effort ensures taxpayer dollars support a workforce that delivers efficient, responsive, and high-quality services. That's OPM Director Scott Kober told Fox News. The White House highlighted the billions of dollars saved by cutting the government workforce and underscored the president's job creation in the private sector. President Trump's pro-growth economic agenda is fueling American prosperity the right way. All of the job creation under President Trump has so far been in the private sector, while federal government employment has shrunk to its lowest level since 1966.
Wow.
Projecting to save American taxpayers $30 billion annually.
Wow. Now hopefully the new governor of Connecticut will do the same type of work and cut taxes and whatnot. We have Betsy McCaughey on right now, who will be the next governor of Connecticut. Hi, Betsy.
It's good to talk with you. Yes, the reductions in unessential, non-essential as they call it, non-essential federal workforce is so impressive. It is saving American taxpayers so much money and producing more. The government is so much more efficient without all that dead weight.
Betsy, I wrote an ad for you, and I wanted to read it to everybody, a radio ad, to explaining how you're going to eliminate the income tax in Connecticut.
Yes, it's called Axe the Tax, Dick. Axe the Tax.
That's so
very
great.
simple. I'm going to eliminate the state income tax in Connecticut. It's going to make the state far more prosperous, and it's going to make Connecticut the tax haven of the Northeast. Think Florida without the palm trees.
I love it.
So this ad...
all these poor, overtaxed New Yorkers, they won't have to get on an airplane. They can just get in their car and drive to a tax haven right next door.
That's
and
beautiful.
Businesses will flock to Connecticut.
So the ad that Betsy and I worked on, the wife says, "How much do we owe?" And the husband says, "It's tax time, Connecticut. There's federal tax, and don't forget the state income tax here in Connecticut." And then the chorus says, "Axe the tax." The woman said, how much is that?" The guy said, well, it depends on our income. If we make $100,000 a year, that's $6,600 in state taxes. If we make $200,000, it's $13,000. Axe the tax.
Axe the tax.
$13,000 on top of federal taxes. Axe the tax. Well, what can we do? Axe the tax. What do you mean, axe the tax? Well, it's election time, and Betsy McCaughey is running for governor, and she wants to repeal the state income tax. Axe the tax. Repeal it? Where would the state get the money? Well, join the 340 Club. The 340 Club, what's that? Betsy's campaign is raising money to get her elected governor so she can axe the tax. And she's asking all of us to give $340 each. That will be enough to axe the tax. And the husband then says, count me in, $340 to save $13,000 a year. Axe the tax.
Perfect. And I think we should have your hand with red nail polish holding an axe.
The point is, I hope everyone listening comes to Betsy2026.com. That's all one word. BETSY2026.com. We can axe the tax. And let me tell you, $340 is a bargain compared with what most Connecticut people are paying in state income tax.
Betsy, explain the $340. What's that got to do with the tax?
It's the maximum amount under the law that someone is allowed to contribute to my campaign. This isn't a big money campaign. It's lots of individuals donating no more than $340, and think what you can get for that. An end to the state income tax. Axe the tax.
Oh,
yeah. So you're actually raising money now to axe the tax, right?
That's right. I'm raising money now to defeat Lefty Lamont in November and axe the tax. And by the way, there's another issue I might as well mention because he's trying to ram it through the legislature this week. After all we learned with COVID, and no place suffered more than New York and Connecticut, the business closings, the school closings, the number of people who literally lost their lives because of all that draconian shutdown, right? Mm-hmm. Now they're trying to pass a bill in Connecticut. They call it a vaccine bill, but the most dangerous part empowers the governor to do that all again, to declare a health emergency and have unlimited authority. Unlimited authority for an unlimited amount of time.
Let's get this guy out of office before he sells us into slavery.
And that's just a power grab is what they do with this.
That's right. It's a power grab. And one thing Americans learned, never again.
Right.
Never to allow the federal government and the state governments to shut us down. Ruined people's businesses, destroyed their children's schooling. Terrible thing.
Now, another thing, Betsy, if you want, you could talk about, I know you want to have a couple of fundraisers in Connecticut. I don't know if you want to talk about it yet, but we're going to try to have Dick Morris be there, hopefully.
Oh, yes. He's my featured speaker, my man of wisdom.
Featured speaker.
Tell us how to give money to your campaign and to axing the tax.
Thank you. Come to Betsy2026.com. That's BETSY2026.com. You can donate. You can read the plan to axe the tax. This is a pro-growth plan. It's not an austerity plan. It will make Connecticut grow. In fact, the President's Council of Economic Advisors reported on January 26th that if Connecticut eliminates its income tax, business startups will increase 25 to 27%. What a huge increase, right? 25% the first year. And the average wage earner will earn $6,700 more pre-tax. It's not just the money you're saving by not paying the tax. You're going to have a bigger paycheck to begin with, because when you axe the tax, businesses grow and more businesses come into the state, and the overall level of prosperity increases enormously. The 10 most prosperous states in the country have no income tax.
And also your plan to, when you cut the tax, how you're going to pay for it. You have your plan.
That's right. There isn't going to be a big hole in the budget. Mm-hmm. When you announce that you're going to zero, businesses start to move in, the overall pace of business activity increases, and the law will say every time revenue increases 5%, governors and legislators are not allowed to spend that extra revenue. They are not. Their hands are tied. They must reduce the income tax rate instead. And year by year, it will go to zero.
Excellent. And now, your fundraisers, where are they going to be and the dates, or are you ready to tell us?
Well, you come to my website, Betsy2026.com. They're all listed there. We'd love to have you because this very famous man, Dick Morris, President Clinton and President Trump, will be speaking. Fireside chats with Dick Morris. Isn't that wonderful?
That's great.
Meet and greet with Dick
there's
Morris.
No fire. Betsy, I think it's important to tell people that this is a fundraiser very different from any other campaign fundraiser you're going to be invited to. First of all, we can only soak you for $340 because that's the maximum permitted by state law. So we're referring to it as a $340 club.
Right.
You give $340, Betsy gets elected, and we stop the state income tax.
Right.
That's right, and bring prosperity to the state.
And secondly, we're going to dedicate all of the effort to repealing the income tax.
That's right.
This is a fundraiser that will actually end up saving you money.
Right.
It will end up saving money, and it will guarantee that Connecticut, the young people in Connecticut, my kids and grandkids and yours, have a much brighter future. The fact is, young people are leaving Connecticut in droves because they say, I don't have a future here, Mom and Dad. I don't have a career path here. Well, they will once we axe the tax.
The contrast between man-commie in New York and you is unbelievable.
Well, that is a big difference. Mondami in New York, he is soaking everybody. I'm very concerned with what's going to happen. He's pushing the state legislature to increase the taxes.
Right.
And what's going to happen? It's suicide for New York. We're going to lose congressional representation. Businesses are heading for the exits. And it's a very bad recipe. It's a recipe for economic and political failure.
So we have to get your funds soon because you only have another month or so to build up these funds. Is that correct?
That's right. I urge everyone listening, and you have such a big audience, Dick, come to Betsy2026.com. You can read my economic plan. It's really there, rock solid, on how to axe the tax and bring business prosperity to Connecticut. Shockingly, Connecticut ranks 48th out of 50 states. New York is dead last, but Connecticut is pretty close. Hochul and Lefty Lamont, the governor of Connecticut, are in a foot race to see who can run the worst state.
Oh my God, that's their contest.
That's right. That Hochul's ahead, but Lamont's pulling up on her.
I call it Jokel.
That's right. But eliminating the income tax is the most effective way to turn a failing state's economy around. There's no question about it. The president's economic advisor, Steve Moore, who you know is very much behind this plan, Steve Moore says, don't go for all the other taxes yet. Start with the income tax. Right. And that's exactly what the very sage Dick Morris told me as well.
Just the incentive of people to move out, there's incentive to move back or to move into Connecticut when you're governor.
And especially
absolutely.
Since Hochul,
corporate CEOs, 52% of corporate CEOs say they will move their company for a better tax deal. And when you look at a map of the United States, those CEOs are heading to the states that have low or no income tax. They're moving out of places like New York, Connecticut, and California, and they're moving towards states like South Carolina, Kentucky, that are eliminating the income tax.
Is McMahon still there? The wrestling business, in Connecticut?
Yes. He is still located in Stamford, Connecticut.
Right.
But it's a struggle, to use a pun. It's a struggle to keep wrestling or any other business in Connecticut. We've got to fight hard. So the best way to fight is to eliminate the very competitive environment across the United States, and unfortunately, Lefty Lamont has his head in the sand.
Really?
So, and bear in mind that Connecticut is located right next to New York, New Jersey, and there's Connecticut and Massachusetts. So
right, we will
it's
be
right in the middle of
payment.
this high tax environment. And if there's a state, Connecticut, that doesn't have the taxes, everybody always wonders why Connecticut went from a booming economy in the 1960s and 70s to being a basket case today. And the answer is that Lowell Weicker imposed an income tax. What year was that, Betsy?
1991. That was the beginning, Dick, of the death spiral. That income tax put Connecticut into a death spiral economically.
And in fact, Weicker had just been defeated by the Connecticut voters in the primary for the Senate. So many people feel that this was essentially an act of revenge by him on the people of Connecticut, and certainly worked out that way.
And it was an act of deception. He preposterously said that he was going to keep the tax for only 1 year. And of course, the very wise Ronald Reagan once said, there's nothing more permanent, more eternal than a government program or a government tax.
Ronald Reagan, he was amazing.
Well, Betsy, I wish you all the credit in the world, and please go to Betsy, BETSY, 2026.com. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you so much,
my
Betsy.
pleasure. Your show is a public service.
Thank you.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.